my nickel. Here's my nickel on the table. And this is something. This is actually something kind of for both movies, but it definitely was for The French Connection, which is a movie that I love. So I'm not. This isn't degrading it at all. But goddamn, I am tired of movies that just start as loud as humanly possible. I don't know if you noticed it with The French Connection, but it is just an audio sting instantly. As soon as the picture comes in, it's just like the music is just like, and it's like, oh my God, please don't do that. Like, please just give me a moment to, because I spend the next couple of minutes
before it even comes in.
You know, I'm going to actually mark that as being a kind of a generic thing for New Hollywood. Remember the beginning of Pelham 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
And it's like this super loud, and you're like, the music is completely compelling and loud, and you're excited about something. There's nothing really happening on screen. It's people just arriving at a subway station. That might be a thing they did back then.
It might be a thing that they did back then, but it's so jarring that it just takes me a couple of minutes to just be like, oh, okay, now I'm back watching a movie. Because it's like the beginning of what's that Alice in Chains song? There's the Alice in Chains song where it's the same thing.
Dem Bones.
Dem Bones. Yes, it's the beginning of Dem Bones. It's just like, please don't do that. Like, just give me a moment.
Not prepared for that. That's a quick headphones off.
Right. Exactly. And I do watch a lot of these movies with headphones on too. So I am riding the volume button early on.
Well, in that case, you had nothing to compare it to, so you weren't ready. It was probably turned up too loud.
Right. Just
Poseidon
Adventure does it a little bit, but it does it more with sound effects than music. And I don't mind it as much with sound effects, but just the instant hit of music is a little much.
Is this part of the episode, or should we start it now?
I think we started.
That was my nickel.
Nickel's worth.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
again, I don't have much bad to say about this movie because this movie fucking.
If this is not a love fest for the next 20 minutes, I can't talk to you people,
dude. It gets a little convoluted in the middle sometimes. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of discussions going on. It gets a little bit.
It's convoluted.
Yeah.
I think that's the point.
The true story is convoluted.
There is no exposition. This movie drops you into the middle of the action with no context,
in media res.
Exposition. You are constantly as disoriented and like wondering what the fuck is going on as Popeye is most of the time, and I think that's the point.
Yes,
international drug smuggling is complicated. It turns out
you come in there. It's like you're in New York and it's 1971. Go. You know, it's like everything in New York City needs to be hosed down and moved back 5 feet. You know, it's just how it is. Yeah.
New York was never more shitholy than in this movie.
Yes, it was. But that's great.
It looks terrible.
But it looks amazing at the same time.
A little bit Taxi Driver, maybe.
Well, I was going to say, okay, the cinematography in this movie obviously is he credits it to the film Z or Zed, Jim, which you would love.
Yes,
that
very similar, yeah.
But I was thinking that like this has already been done in Italian neorealism for the most part.
Yeah, but that's also it's Owen Roizman, the ASC, the guy who did the DP for this thing. He did this. He did The Exorcist.
Was really influenced.
But to
Z specifically.
But to the Z specifically, but to the nastiness of the picture, it's frenetically incredible, and I think that New York looks exactly how it should look for this kind of story, this picture. Like
it's New York. It's New York playing New York. It's not LA playing New York. It's not San Francisco playing New York.
Falling apart. It looks like
playing New York.
And of course, we probably all read all the little tantalizing tidbits, but it was so cold apparently that like all the. I mean, that's why you get like when some of those wide shots, all the steam.
My favorite scene in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, but the steam coming from like 3 different places in any given shot.
Every close up on Popeye Doyle, his breath is just taking up like half.
It looks uncomfortable. The entire
Chris is saying that's his favorite scene where Popeye Doyle standing out.
Every time I watch this movie, I have a different scene that I fall in love with. This time it was this one where you're eating Vichyssoise or whatever, and across the street he's like.
The shittiest cup of coffee in the world.
I should admit right out of the gate that I had never seen either of these movies all the way through.
Right on. That's a good thing to admit.
What?
So I know. Poseidon Adventure is more excusable.
This one I don't.
Yeah. I had seen scenes from French Connection, but I realized I'd never seen it in its entirety until this time. And so
I watch this movie like every 18 months.
Well, I see why now. Obviously, I mean, I knew it from. Come on, I know
reputation.
Yeah, reputation,
right? Also, but it was just one of those ones where I was like, did I ever sit down and watch the whole thing from start to finish? And the answer was no until now.
Yeah.
This was a pretty much a first time watch for me, because as I told you guys last week, the first time I saw it, this is the second, I was 9 years old and my dad took me to see it in the video.
Yeah. So, okay.
And
so I have a
9,
similar association
wow.
with it.
At 9, I'm like, wow, this is really gory, because, all the body's covered in blood and the guy getting shot in the face. And it's like, I've never seen anything like that before.
By the way, I will, let me detract from the movie minorly. The blood sucks.
Oh, the red paint?
It's so bad.
The blood sucks.
No, it's a victim of that 70s. It's the same. It's giallo blood.
Yeah.
It is absolutely giallo blood.
It's so like
and giallo and they were like, are still doing this to this day, which is just
and
like,
I heard
God bless
commitment to the bit.
Maybe some of you guys can corroborate this, but like I heard that they were like, if it's too realistic looking, we can't show. So it had to be like ridiculously red.
Well, you remember what happened to Taxi
for a lot
Driver?
of those pictures, because they were like, well, it has to look almost cartoonish in order for us to not give you like a.
Well, you know what happened to Taxi Driver in '75? They did so much blood work in the last part, all that blood flying everywhere. They had to tune the color down. So
so Taxi Driver is what, 5 years after this?
No,
roughly?
4, maybe 3.
Okay,
yeah.
And so when I was watching this movie, I was like, it's so cool, it's so fast, it's so frenetic, but at the same time, it doesn't have. I wouldn't say this is like cinematography. Like, why do some movies like Scorsese's pictures look so beautiful in comparison? Although this works for this,
right? It does, yeah.
But you wouldn't say this is a good-looking movie.
No, it's very gritty and it's very harsh looking.
Setups, and the framing. I mean, like just this shot of like, come on. Yeah, like look behind. Come on, no. It's awesome, but I just mean like compare it to like more controlled cinematography. I'm just talking about the artistry of it. Like it's a lot different, is all I'm saying. This
movie feels much like Taxi Driver, feels more realistic. Like it feels like you're watching this actually happen.
Right. Whereas Taxi Driver had a more controlled.
Scorsese's movies are always stood back a little bit.
But Scorsese's using actual rigs for his camera movement. He's using cranes, he's using dollies, he's using tracks, he's using Steadicam.
Very early Steadicam guy.
Right. This guy is literally, we all read this. This guy is literally telling his cinematographer, keep up with what's happening right now.
Right. Yeah.
And also put it on your shoulder and keep up with what's going on.
Again, Z.
And also
sometimes run in front of them too, which is insane.
Also he ran a lot of his film without permits too.
The chase.
I know the chase was half.
I mean, he had permission, but I mean, the street wasn't closed, right?
Well, they blocked off a lot of it, but there were certain moments where he got too far, and they would have to real traffic was coming in. It's the same. By the way, it's the same dude that drove the cars for Bullet.
Yes,
which I watched.
I recognize that dude.
And this dude is so good that when real traffic was coming in, he knew how to not hit them and go around them.
I know.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I watched it. I watched Bullet this morning because I know that Bullet, which came out 3 years earlier, was sort of at that time like the
Cadillac of car chase movies.
New standard for hard-boiled detective, and then of course it has that car chase in the middle, which Scott can attest, because I'm sure he's watched as many times as I have, violates all.
No, the geography is completely imaginary in that thing. This is not, though. This is Queensboro Boulevard. This was I know this area.
The thing about the Bullet car chase is they hadn't figured out how to strap the camera to the bumper yet. So all the shots that are inside.
Well, Frankenheimer had, but they was only doing that in France.
Right. When the scenes that
you watch F1
did that Bullet does not, because there's a lot of Bullet where you're like the camera is locked and the car comes screeching around the corner and the camera follows it, and then they cut to the next set of it. Maybe there's a couple of in-betweens,
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
But obviously the car being strapped to the front here is so amazing.
That's
so amazing.
This movie did. It's like, holy shit, I feel like I'm strapped to the bumper.
Right.
And I don't.
And you are literally.
Well, it's probably like they put Gene Hackman on a toe, like a low toe, with a camera on the hood, and just tore him through the streets, and he's pretending to drive and like
It was great to watch it and realize it was still as good as its reputation.
Intercutting between him
and this is just an aside though, but about Bullet, if you can make an entire picture that exciting and it's only got one gunshot scene at the end, that's amazing. By the way, it's just amazing.
Bullet is very chit chatty.
Yeah,
but there's only one fucking shoot scene, and it's at the end. It's the climax. It's a fucking beautiful.
But there's something about the careening runaway freight car of this movie.
Oh yeah.
Just chase what's happening. Bullet is so stiff and controlled by comparison.
Yeah.
And here comes Friedkin, who's just like ingested nothing.
Well, and he says it's Z. He says when he saw Z, he figured out how to shoot this movie.
Yeah. He probably watched F1 also.
But I was also like, did you not see DeSica? Did you not see Rossellini? That's how these guys shoot their pictures as well.
This film was almost a Sugar Rush in some ways, in terms of like just giving you this.
Jim knows what I'm talking about.
But
it's really varied in tone too, because for all those exciting scenes, there's these stakeout scenes that are really long, and they're kind of boring because stakeouts are boring.
Yeah, I don't want to get.
Well, and they actually truncated that, because I read that the real stakeout. Well, first of all, it's amazing this is based on a real thing.
Yeah.
But like the real stakeout was like 3 or 4 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Wanted, peeing in popcorn cups and things like that in their car, and
but go ahead.
I want to circle back a little bit to the photography in this thing, because it is very dynamic. It set the tone for New Hollywood and anything else coming after it. It's like Bonnie and Clyde started it. This developed it, and it kind of went to this exciting.
Well, and
place.
Bonnie and Clyde took from French New Wave.
Exactly.
Like
But I'm going to give big props to the late Owen Roizman, because he did this in flat in 35 millimeter. He did next film up was The Exorcist, which looks and feels completely different.
More controlled, but it's a different story.
Yeah, next film up was Pelham 123. He did that one, and we're back to grid again, and widescreen.
And Pelham 123 is closer to this visually.
Yes, it is. And the next one he did was Network, which is completely different again.
Oh, what a genius!
I know. Wow. That guy was amazing.
Wow.
He just well, he was your New York City go-to cinematographer. He's the guy who knew the city.
Well, he knows the city.
Yeah. So let me go back, because we were talking about how complicated the plot gets in the middle. And there's something I'm still not clear on, is like, how much did the French actor know, besides that his car was going to get shipped to the United States? Did he know that there was drugs in the car?
I don't know that he did.
He didn't know, did he?
No,
he didn't.
He knew something was up.
Also, the main French actor is
he probably could have
Spanish.
guessed it.
Right?
Fernando Rey.
You're not talking about him.
You say that.
Fernando Rey. You're talking
Fernando Rey. Yeah, no.
I watched this a couple times, and yes, it's an oyster.
This is the Franco-Spanish connection.
I thought you established that was some kind of edible sponge.
No, I think it's an oyster. It's singing a little pool. He picks it up. It's like
weird color.
It kind of shows you what kind of guy he is, like shucking it.
But again, I know Chris already said I'm full of shit, but I can't take him serious because of the Buñuel films. This guy is a comedian to me. I don't take him as a serious dude. But he's no threat to me. Every time I saw his goatee, I was like, he's gonna sit on a toilet and eat dinner. Like I don't know. Like I can't do it.
He's the least important character in the movie.
He pays other people to do things.
Yeah, he's a prime mover.
But he's the main bad guy, and he's a hilarious person because of Louis Buñuel.
Selling a product. He's selling a product.
The cat and mouse with him and Hackman getting on and off of the subway. Man, that was great.
Stop there.
I love when he just waited.
The car chase was great, but the way
which is paid off later.
The way they put that segment together with the subway and just the photography and the placement itself was, I just was levitating.
But
he gets off the train and Popeye grabs that girl and drags her off the train.
Yeah.
Talking to her like this, And then as soon as he walks away,
but tell me this wasn't okay. One of my complaints was like how cliche a lot of this is, but like, was this the movie?
Hold on.
Was this the movie that started all that bullshit?
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
because this is the movie I'm guessing that this is the movie that started all the dumb cop fucking like, I don't care how many bartenders you have there. I'm not working on Saturday night. Or like, or the drug.
This was
like what's behind
one.
Scott. I love the guy that does the heroin.
This guy, there's always a guy with spectacles who inspects heroin.
Like who inspects the coke or whatever, and says,
exactly.
It's got a college
started
degree.
with this guy.
But this is why I love. This is why I love Deep Cover. No, Deep Cover. They meet on the docks, and the guy snorts it and goes, "Buy it." Like he's just,
the scene in Blow, the scene in Blow where Bobcat Goldthwait is testing the coke, and he's just and he eventually snorts it, and he's like, I can't feel my face. Like that, that whole scene. That's a it's
American Gangster.
You should buy this cocaine. You should really buy it.
American Gangster, the same thing with that. The guy testing the cocaine is all like, wearing glasses and being professional. And Dennis says, "Can I keep this?"
But this is my favorite guy. This is my favorite guy. Who's all.
Here's a guy.
This is fucking.
Yeah, this was the dude.
280.
Just like this scene though is the same in other movies. It's the guy selling you guns. There's always that scene.
Oh yeah. Same
where they're all this is the P226. Like this is what you want to use, and you're always meeting in a hotel room.
Yeah. I love that scene in the Salton Sea where they go and buy the gun from that kid, and then it comes back later where he's like, did I say 6 shots or did I say 5?
Oh, that was
like literally has him down the barrel of the gun. Like it's like, how tweaked were you? Like,
but we haven't talked. Let's talk about the ending of this movie for a second, because and again, like everything you guys have said, like yes, this movie kind of.
Oh, I have one comment about that.
Imagine going to see this movie in 1971, thinking that Bullet was like the tip of like the tip of the spear on.
It's a good film.
For a cop movie. Then this rolls in, which has the biggest fucking flip the table over, God damn it, what the fuck ending of any movie.
Yes, you're right. But I will fault Friedkin for this though. Why did he cut so quickly?
Well, it does end rather abruptly for sure.
No, I love what he does. He says he's out there. I'm going to go get him, and then you see him walk off, and you hear one gunshot, and he just cut. Like it should have. I honestly think it should have held for about 5 to 10 seconds and then cut.
It still wouldn't answer what happened.
No, it doesnn't answer what happened. It's just better pacing.
Also,
for like your, it's an aesthetic thing. It's like a oh shit, what's.
Didn't he shoot a Fed during the raid?
Yeah.
Right before he goes off, right before the ending.
He goes, you shot so-and-so, and he goes, I'm fucking getting this guy. That's what I thought. I'm like, this guy's fucking done.
I assume his career is over at this point because he shot a Fed.
Well, and this is a real story. So did the guy actually shoot a Fed in the real story? I don't think so, because they were.
I don't think Popeye Doyle actually shot a Fed.
No, because I think they let him retire like regular, sort of.
He is as racist as he is in this movie.
I believe it.
I think more so, probably.
Yeah. Can we talk about? He's a terrible person.
The beginning is
but it's New York in the 1970s, dude. He hates everyone. He's a cop.
No, he's Archie Bunker without the bleeps, man. That's just what's going on.
He doesn't care. Or they call them frogs the entire. I got a frog 1, frog 2. I mean, it's like
it's also the scene. It's also the scene in Dirty Harry where he's like, he hates these people, he hates these people, he hates these people, and then he just throws the N-word in at the end. Like it's basically that.
Yeah,
like,
it's a sign of the times, and cops are honestly like
racist as shit.
They are,
yeah.
Like, but they become that way. I mean, if they're not already, because they only see the bad side of certain culture.
Well, it's also
over again.
This is of its time.
Bullies.
But back in
they're bullies. But if you only see black people doing bad shit and never like regular shit, you fucking become racist, dude.
70s cops grew up in the 40s and 50s, and it was all tribal back then in New York. Hell's Kitchen neighborhoods.
Cops are still tribal.
Still is.
Back then, it's still. But the thing is, it was super. The thing is,
Chris, more so then.
Chris, do you remember the Mad Magazine parody of this film?
That's what I knew of this movie before I saw this movie.
Yes. Stay here, kids. Santa's gonna catch that N-word. It's like that was right there in print, man.
Well, and I read that was a real thing that the 2 cops did.
Yes,
they were trying to bust people, and they were like, we can't get. So the one guy, Eddie or whatever, who was actually Popeye, he would dress up as Santa.
Yeah.
And the tell was, when you saw someone who was actually dealing, he would sing Jingle Bells with the kids, and that's how the rest of the cops knew to come in and bust them.
Well, there's the whole scene.
So that whole opening is actually real. It's like a real thing they did.
Yeah, sure.
And there's the whole scene with the confidential informant where he's just like shoving him around and whatever.
That was actually really great.
It's a great scene.
That's a great scene.
Right up until he's like, "Which side do you want it?" He just fucking clocks the guy. And it's like,
well, he had to blow its cover otherwise.
No, it's great. It's great.
He enjoyed punching that dude in the face.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, a little too much.
The
A little
guy
too much.
indicates he wants to be
But then when he
punches
pushes him
on
out the door, it was great. It was like,
this scene made me
He's just
sad.
got
There's
blood coming out of his
a
mouth
little
and-
one-eyed cat wandering around the scene here. It made me really sad.
That's the one-eyed cat from that movie John made.
JT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just
I swear they cut
how about though,
building, and I'm like, that's the one that the cat ran out of.
exactly.
How about this though? How about the French
Ray,
muscle
the dead
guy
cat movie.
who's trying to assassinate Doyle? He opens fire where there's like mothers and children with
He just
strollers.
shoots
He's
that
just
woman.
like
He just shoots
shoots.
That scene was
What
nuts
the
too.
fuck, dude? And
Yeah.
also Popeye when he's like,
That's why you
I
don't
think.
feel bad when he just gets smoked here on the stairs.
Oh, not
Yeah,
at
I know.
all, not at all. But I think Popeye should have yelled from the tree, "Get that baby out of here!" Like the women are still standing there, and he's all, "Get
No,
away!"
he's telling them to get away.
Yeah, he is. But I would have been like, "Get the stroller!" Fucking,
He's
there's a
probably not
kid in
gonna
that
shoot-
stroller, dude.
He's
What
probably
the
not going to shoot
fuck?
the stroller. He's probably going to shoot other people who are standing around.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's like that kid was in the line of fire.
I know, it's crazy. Well, I think this actually ended up being a
This was obviously like the star-making performance for Hackman, but I do think Roy Scheider is very good in this.
Roy Scheider's
Oh
he
yeah,
is.
he was.
Also, he's never bad in anything.
I think Roy Scheider is always fantastic. He just doesn't have the roles.
Well,
that-
he's also always a little more understated than someone else in the movie.
Well,
And,
but
like,
I
that's-
honestly think
You guys watched the movie he got after this called what's it called? The 7-Ups?
The 7-Ups, yeah. You got to cut loose in that film a
Listen,
little bit.
listen. I think Roy Scheider is exactly what he's supposed to be because I just don't think that he has that.
he's less racist Popeye Doyle.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, like Roy Scheider, we all love Jaws. We all love this.
But
we
his
all
character's the character's there to give a reflection.
No, but he's
to
not
Popeye
that
Doyle.
actor that has. He doesn't have the looks nor the
Oh,
gusto.
he looks New York as fuck. When he comes in and
Yeah, he
Jaws
does.
says he's New York,
But he's
City,
never
I
going to
believed
be.
him.
He's never going to be. He could never be that leading motherfucker, and that's okay.
Actually,
so.
you know what? One thing I was thinking about it when it started was like we were supposed to see, Popeye Doyle. We're supposed to see Gene Hackman as sort of this dissolute, hard drinking, unmarried. He was like
Shithead.
shithead, and he was, sort of. But he was so young and healthy looking in it. Both of them were. They're so young. But they look a little too good, I think, in this movie.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't have
I
like this
disagree.
giant nose or anything.
Yeah,
like that. Like
yeah.
he's.
Nah.
But the thing about- the
Jim,
thing
you guys,
about-
Jim,
the thing-
everybody's been yelling pretty loud.
Yeah, we did that when we actually. This is a love fest, John. We all just.
It is a love fest.
It's
So
a
what
love
is
fest.
Jim got to add to the bring to the party here?
Yeah, Jim, take it, man.
No, I mean, you've all covered everything I wanted to say. It's a good movie.
Movie gets better every fucking time I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I actually wanted to watch it again right after it ended. Like I wanted to start it over.
I will tell you guys, I got through maybe the first hour of the sequel. It's so boring.
It's so bad.
But
It's
no,
terrible.
but I
It's
can't.
terrible.
I can't forgive Fernando Ray. No.
Yeah,
You're wrong.
That's your personal struggle,
Fernando
Joe.
Ray gets way
Well,
more.
it's only because Louis Buñuel ruined it. I love Fernando Ray, but only if he's doing surrealism. I can't do him in a real thing.
Also, we talk about a lot. Again, you want to get a time machine, go back to the era this film was set in. This is one of the films where I would not want to get in a time machine, go back to where it's set in, because it looked like a pretty miserable place. Although you could probably get an apartment in Williamsburg for like $100 a month.
I would go back to this time specifically.
Dude,
to
go
bet against
buy
the
a
city of
Brooklyn
New York
walk
with the
up
banks.
for 125,000. Now it's worth $2 million.
Yeah, so it actually a good time to invest.
My mom's friend literally did that.
Wow.
They just sold their brownstone in downtown, basically downtown Brooklyn, for $3.5 million.
Oh,
they
man.
paid
Yeah.
110 for it.
Oh,
Oh.
110,000.
thousand.
Oh my God, that's nuts.
Late
Whoa.
70s, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And literally, they probably put another $200,000 or $300,000 worth of work into it over the period of time.
Yeah.
But holy,
But that's
God,
still
30
so much profit.
30x profit.
So
like just
happy ever after in Westchester, you think?
no, they're moving to England.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right. Well, wait, I think it's a show of thumbs at this point.
Come on.
Oh, dude, are you kidding? Are you fucking kidding?
I don't
No,
actually
come
have
on.
enough thumbs.
No, it's not enough thumbs.
Thumbs.
There's like both of them here, man. Fantastic.
Good job, Johnny. Good job.
And
fucking movie.
Billy
Rest in
Friedkin,
peace.
man, rest in peace. Well
Rest in
done.
peace, Billy Friedkin.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Also-
Billy. Fucking hey. William
Right.
Friedkin is a genius.